going on, you guys? Ryan from WodFigs here, and for the second year in a row, we are covering some of the brand new reveals from Mattel, of course, at San Diego Comic-Con, where they revealed a ton of new Mattel figures coming out in this year, 2018, and even some later in 2019, in most cases, the prototypes that will be shown throughout this video. But this video is going to be covering my top 10 favorite figures that were shown. There were a ton of new figures revealed, so it was very hard to narrow down this list to my top 10. However, I think I have a pretty solid list. Of course, my thoughts are probably going to be different from some of yours, so if you have your own opinion on which figures were your favorite that were revealed, let me know down below. But we're going to start things off first, before we even get into honorable mentions, which I do, talking about some news, which includes that Chase figures are going to be coming, which I think is a great addition. We saw this with Kurt Hawkins and Shelton Benjamin, with two different variants of the attires coming out, as well as Mattel figures or elites, male elites, I believe, will be coming with all interchangeable hands and even some with interchangeable heads, which is a really big deal. I think it's nice that Mattel is finally jumping on the bandwagon that most toy companies have already done, which of course is interchangeable parts. I think it's a really big deal. I think it's a great move going forward. It's going to make the customization of Mattel figures even better, so I think that that is a great move as well. There was a ton of other news, but I just wanted to cover that because I feel like that was a pretty big deal. Oh yeah, also as well as Entrance Greats is coming to an end, which I'll talk about soon, and there's a new series called Ultimate Edition or something. I forgot the name off the top of my head, but there we go. So before we get into my top 10, let's go ahead and get into some honorable mentions and some figures I really liked. Starting things off first with Cedric Alexander. It is about time we get a Cedric Elite coming with the Cruiserweight Championship. Now, I only mentioned this and not put this on the top 10 because we don't have an actual look of really the attire, the colors that they're going to be using, so it's kind of hard to tell how good it's going to look, but judging by the digital render, I think we're in for a pretty good Elite. Next up, we got the ringside exclusive Matt Hardy, which very interestingly enough is the first Mattel figure to actually come with the last version of the ECW Championship, so different from the sort of classic beatdown title. You have the more modern and like silver looking ECW Championship. That is really interesting accessory. I actually didn't realize it at first when I saw the picture, but I think it makes the figure way better that it's coming with that. Of course, next we have Ronda Rousey. I'm waiting to see if they do an in-ring attire. It probably would have made my top 10 had they done that, but they have the attire with her in her normal clothing, probably when she made an appearance during the Royal Rumble and just like the segments leading up to on Raw, but no actual in-ring Ronda that we saw so far. Then we have Bobby Lashley. I'm really excited for this, but we didn't get to see a great look. I believe it does come with an interchangeable head, but we didn't get a look really at anything else but his upper body for the most part, so I'm wondering why we didn't. It's kind of weird they weren't able to show the full body. In fact, even some figures like Mustafa Ali and an updated Ruby Riott, we didn't get to see anything but really just the upper chest, or I should say the chest and upwards, so that was a little bit weird. And then finally, Velveteen Dream. I'm very excited that we're getting one. I do kind of question why they're using such a big torso. I mean, I know Velveteen is a big guy, but I feel like the torso they're using, and I hope they change, is just a little bit too big for my liking. But still, these are just a small sample of figures that really stood out to me. There are a ton of others that won't be on this list. Of course, there was Dude Love, which I missed. The B Team I thought looked really, really good. There was a new Strowman, Reigns, Sting. There were a lot of really good looking figures, Finn Balor, that I'm not going to be able to mention on this list. But speaking of the list, let's go ahead and just jump into it already. Starting things off at number 10 with the last Entrance Greats figure, Elias, coming in the white. This looks way better than the Elias that was just released in the black. I think the head scan is more detailed looking. Now it is a digital render, so it is probably going to look more realistic, but it looks really great in this photo. He comes with the guitar and even the stool for him to sit down on and strum his guitar and put on a little bit of a concert for the local crowd. I think the white attire is definitely more interesting than the one that was released in the black, so I'm very much looking forward to this figure. Coming in at number 9, and I am grouping them together because I feel like it's kind of hard to rank them as individuals, but we have Sanity, of course, including 4 figures. We've got Eric Young, Killian Dane, Alexander Wolf, and Nikki Cross. They all look really awesome. I think they're all going to be in the NXT set, and I'm curious to see how they're sold but I think they all look really good. It's going to be nice to get some Sanity figures, a first time in the line for all of them, actually. Eric Young, too, is going to be very interesting. I'd like to see some people compare maybe his TNA figure to the Mattel figure coming out. They all look incredible, though. Nikki Cross actually might be my favorite. I think the way her head scan looks and the facial expression they got is really cool. Looks exactly like her. Alexander Wolf, too, looks great. I think Killian, they had an actual figure of him, kind of didn't look the greatest, but I'm still looking forward to having Sanity as a faction in figure form. Coming in at number 8, we have the Bludgeon Brothers, and these looked awesome. We didn't actually get any in like figure real life forms of them, but in the digital images shown, or images I should say, they looked really good. Luke Harper does come with the hammer that they have. I don't think they showed Eric Rowan with one. I might be mistaken. Both also come with interchangeable hands. I'm sure they're both going to come with the hammer, and if you put those tag team championships on them, I think they're going to look really good. You know, I'm actually not like the biggest fan of the Bludgeon Brothers in real life. I think Luke Harper is a phenomenal talent, should be on his own, but in figure form they look really, really good. And I'm also a big fan of these red attires as opposed to the green ones they've been wearing on SmackDown lately. At number 7, people might be surprised I'm ranking this kind of low, and that just goes to show the quality of figures that Mattel revealed this year is the WrestleMania 34 AJ Styles in the sort of silver and blue attire. Does come with a hoodie, of course. I really do love that they chose this AJ. They even showed another one in black, which didn't make the list, but it's very interesting that they chose an attire, and I love that they chose an attire different from the rest of the Mattel figures. Some of the figures that we already have of AJ, like the 56, I believe it is, and 47, I might be getting the numbers wrong, but, you know, the blue and black attires that I just did a fix upon, they're not similar, but the colorway is similar. So for them to sort of branch off and do an AJ in a silver attire, I'm a very big fan of. And even that black one I am a fan of too. I just definitely prefer the WrestleMania 34 one. The beard also looks really good. The face on this one as well looks very good, so I'm extremely excited for the WrestleMania 34 AJ. Coming in at number 6 is one that many people probably want the most. I just prefer some more figures over it, but I'm very excited for the first ever Mattel Pete Dunne. The head scan looks so good. I mean, again, we didn't actually get to see it in figure form, but the digital picture looks incredible. He's got interchangeable hands. I'm assuming he will come with the United Kingdom Championship. I still haven't even gotten that Tyler Bate figure, and I don't really want it just because the head isn't that great, at least in my opinion. But this Pete Dunne looks incredible. You put the United Kingdom Championship, if it doesn't come with one, from the Tyler Bate figure, I think it's going to look amazing. But it took Mattel a while to make a Pete Dunne, and now that they made it, seems like a lot of people are happy, and it looks like a great figure. Now we get into the top 5. This was really tough to do. There are just so, like I said, there's so many figures to cover this year. It was so hard to put together a list. But at number 5, we've got the former NXT champion Andrade Cien Almas. This figure, especially with the championship, looks really good. A much better head scan compared to the original NXT Basic that released. It's an updated look. The white attire is really nice. The NXT Championship does look really good, and because I don't have an updated title, it's another incentive to get this figure. But I don't have an Almas figure. I'm passed on the Basic, waiting for an Elite, and now that we're getting one, I certainly can't wait to get it. Coming in at number 4, like I mentioned earlier, they are introducing some Chase Elites with alternate attires of certain figures, and we have Shelton Benjamin. We have one look, his current look in the white, and then the gold standard look from his run right before he was, I believe, released from WWE back in maybe like 2010 or so. I'm very excited that they're releasing 2. I freaked out when I saw this at first. One of my most wanted figures during or before Comic-Con actually happened was going to be Shelton, because I love Shelton. Shelton was one of my favorites growing up, so to get finally an Elite of him is going to be awesome. We got a Basic, I think 2 Basics years and years ago. I think one was actually a WrestleMania Basic, but now to get an updated form and a sort of throwback form in Elite is going to be amazing. And I certainly can't wait to get my hands on that. We get into the top 3 now. At number 3, we have Seth Rollins in his flame gear. I feel like people are kind of overlooking this one a little bit. It's also weird because Rollins' flame gear, I wasn't even the biggest fan of, but for some reason looking at it in figure form, I absolutely can't wait. Plus it looks like we're getting a brand new Seth Rollins head scan, which is awesome. I'm glad they decided not to use the stupid smiling, smirking head scan or the screaming one, so that's definitely a big positive. The new Rollins head scan looks great. This attire is also really, really nice, and the knee pad too looks really, really cool. Coming in at number 2, these were really hard to pick from one another, but at number 2 we have Aleister Black, and this is maybe a bold take, but this is my early prediction for figure of the year. If it comes out in 2018 or 2019, which I think is probably more likely, I think it will be figure of the year. Looking at the details, the tattoos, the head scan looks really great. It's also nice to actually see this in person, and we didn't just get a digital picture, so it was great that they actually showed it. It looks freaking incredible. Aleister Black is one of those people that many wanted to see at even last year's San Diego Comic-Con, which I think I put in my video, and was a little bit disappointed that we didn't see. But I know a lot of people are looking forward to an Aleister Black figure, and so am I, because he was my second favorite revealed from this year. But at number 1, it couldn't be anybody else but these 3. At the number 1 spot, we've got 3 guys in a trio. Of course, I'm talking about the Epic Moments Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly. These figures look incredible. They were some of the first figures revealed today, at least Saturday, or it's not Saturday, what am I saying? It's Thursday, the time I'm recording this. And they were absolutely shocking to see. There were rumors and leaks, I think last week, that we were going to see a 3-pack of some sort. And obviously now that it was revealed as an Epic Moments, we are getting it. And the head scans on Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly are fantastic. Bobby Fish as well. Adam Cole's head scan to me, though, is absolutely amazing. It looks so lifelike. Kyle O'Reilly looks really great as well. Bobby Fish, too. Quick shout out to the Roderick Strong figure. I am a fan of it. I just prefer a lot of figures over that, but obviously he's part of Undisputed Era now too. It's just going to be, I think, one of the best Epic Moments. Might even be competing with the Hardy figures. So if it's going to compete with that Hardy set, which is one of my favorites of all time, I think this is going to be one of the best sets of the year. But that's going to do it. As of the time I'm recording this, again, it is Thursday, so I'm not sure if they are revealing any more figures tomorrow, Friday, or even in the coming days. I don't think they are, but maybe I'll have to make another video if there are a ton more reveals. But thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. San Diego Comic-Con this year was amazing. A very great year. 2018, man, it was just great. They really, Mattel really did it again. And they seem to do it every single year and outdo themselves. It's absolutely crazy. But again, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, stay tuned to the next one.